Good morning from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. It's 9:19 a.m. on the 28th of January 2024. 28 days. That's a lunar month. 1 month into the new year. And what has changed, people? Incremental, tiny changes that we may not be aware of, I suppose. Here in Brisbane, Australia, I've not long been up. I woke up at 9 a.m. with a, intense urge to pee because the drug I'm on makes you hold larger volumes, which is a good thing. But I was still up all night. I was up 11:28, 1:02 a.m, 3:25 a.m, and 9 a.m. And believe me, that was a much better night than I had a few nights ago when I was up on average every 15 minutes to half an hour. So that was intense, even with the new drug. So it's starting to work. I think that I'm holding a bit longer, but not really, because from 11:28 to 1:02 is only 1.5 hours. So I'm all wrung out. I'm still in my nightie and I don't care. It's a beat up old nightie. What is that? What's that stain I've got on it now? Oh well, it's a beat up old nightie. I need to buy myself some new bras and some new nice nighties. But it's been so hot, I haven't really been wearing one anyway. Just threw this on last night. I slept the last 2 nights in my lounge on the couch, which has played havoc with my sciatica, which was already not right for about a week and a half. So now it really hurts. But I had to sleep on the couch in the aircon, which I put on 25 degrees, because it was just too massively humid and hot in the house. I even took the fan out of my bedroom and put it in Charlie's room and put it on her, because her room was like a hot box. I thought we're all going to die if this keeps up, of heat stroke or some awful, thing. Well, everyone dies, but I'm trying to do my best to avoid it, right? Cute. I'm very adorable. How I try to avoid death. But it's okay. It's not as dramatic as it sounds. So I lay here on the couch for the second night in a row and couldn't sleep, because the light that says how many degrees it is on the aircon was, like a little neon light beaming into my brain, and I'm highly sensitive to light especially when I'm not well, when I'm overtired. So because of that, I lay there for a while not sleeping, this light boring into my brain, and then I thought, you know what, Tanya? Use your noggin, you dickhead. So I talk to myself, by the way. So if I call you a dickhead, I've also called myself a dickhead many, many times. And if I think someone's being a dickhead, then they are, including my own self. So I turned my pillows around the other end of the couch and lay with my feet facing the door, which isn't good feng shui, but hey, it's only temporary. My feet face the door in my actual bed in my bedroom too, but I've counteracted it with lots of crystal sun catchers hanging off my four-poster bed. So anyway, so I'm lying there, the light's no longer bothering me because it's behind me, and I drifted off to sleep for a while. Woke up to pee at 11:28. Got back to my couch, lay down, drifted off for a while, woke up again, and then after the second wake-up call, had trouble getting back to sleep, so lay there contemplating all my life histories and all the awfulness, and thought, well, what good does that do? What good does that do? Even thinking about it really just keeps me in my hell loop, right? So I told myself I was a dickhead and to go to sleep. And after a while, because I'm defiant even to my own self, even then it took a while, I drifted back into somnolence again and woke up at 3:25. And luckily at 3:25 I was so astonishingly exhausted, I had no trouble getting back to sleep, and I actually had a solid sleep from then until 9. It's 5 hours. 5 hours and 35 minutes. So I'm sleep. When I do get sleep, it's usually around about a good block of 5 hours, which is not enough for me. I used to sleep 12, believe it or not. At my most mentally unwell years ago, I used to sleep 20. It was literally a shuffling automaton, sleeping my life away. But you know, a woman's got to do what a woman's got to do, and eventually I healed from that and became a lot more functioning. Thank the gods. So I'm frightened of spiralling back into that kind of state again, or worse, get dementia or Alzheimer's, which I'm a prime candidate for because my mother died of advanced Alzheimer's, and it was not fucking pretty to watch. Even though she'd been a terrible mother and for a large part of my life had actually taken on the role of being an enemy of mine, you know, by her own choice, because she was greedy, corrupt and malevolent, basically, and envious of her own daughters. It was not nice to even see one's mother, one's enemy, one's monster go into decline with that. It was not a pleasant experience at all. So I'm actually a bit terrified of that happening to me too, but you know what? At the end of the day, if my brain turns to mush, may have already begun the process for all I know. I won't be aware of it for quite some time, and by the time I'm aware of it, I won't have a lot of time to make the right decisions. But I'll have to go, I haven't got the money for it yet, but I'll have to go and organise an advanced health directive because I don't want to be, I'll be wanting euthanasia if it comes to that. I don't want to die at the mercy of vicious or inept or inadequate or lazy or overworked, exhausted, therefore inept and acopic humanoids. It's not the end I choose for myself, and if I have any hope of a choice, I'll have to make those plans while I'm still of sound mind and capable of making good decisions for my end, right? Although, you know, there were vague threats about just prior to Bobo dying, so about 6 months ago, me being stabbed out in the music scene. So, you know, I mean, I don't welcome that, but so many lunatics out in the world. I mean, it's possible that could be my end, but I'm not focusing on that. I don't relish the thought of someone stabbing me, by the way. If anyone's going to end my life, it will very likely be me, because I've had a long history of trauma and ill health and heartbreak and rejection, betrayal, abandonment since early childhood. So what the fuck? But I'll have to make sure that it's completely, you know, the most logical, most sensible outcome for me, and not coerced or pressurized by some other entity, right? It's a hard decision, which is the right course of action. But anyway, right now in Brisbane, Australia, it's teeming with rain. Started raining about 5 a.m. because I woke up briefly and heard the rain and thought, oh yeah, that's good for the garden. I've been resenting all the rain because it makes my grass grow to jungle proportions, as you can see. But it was so hot yesterday, I had to go out and water all my little pots. And so anyway, it's dark and it's grey and it's miserable, and I'm looking at all the grey paintwork of all my crazy neighbours who think grey is the right colour to paint their houses in an apocalypse. Man, be defiant, people. Paint them bright pink and purple. Really give a fuck you to society. But no, they all comply with their NPC minds and their drone-like minds, and they all painted their houses fucking grey. Wow. And it looks worse on a day like today when the sky is grey, everything's grey. So I shall focus on the brightly coloured roses in my garden, and on the white elder flowers in my garden, and on the pretty pink frangipanis across the road, to colour up my world so I don't go into a deep dive of depression and blahness. Because who in their right mind wants to surround themselves in an utterly grey world? It tells me none of them are in their right mind right now, and you know why, don't you? The last 4 years, inviting a certain toxin into their bodies has turned them grey and NPC, although they probably were NPCs before that. Anyway, Mama T's holding on to her existence, hoping that her own brain doesn't turn into grey, watery, collapsing, shellacked, shell-shocked mush. So, 2 nights on my couch. It wasn't too bad with the air conditioning, though. It was a smart move to make. And I actually momentarily thought, I should have put the aircon in my bedroom. But then if I'd had it in my bedroom, I wouldn't have been able to enjoy it while watching TV in the afternoons or mornings when I make my videos, etc. So it was a good decision to put it in the lounge overall, I think. But it would be nice if I could afford one for the bedroom, but let's face it, that's a luxury. I'm grateful that I have this one even. It was gifted to me. So I'm very grateful. And, I'm sleeping in the couch is not such a bad thing, just for a week or two, hopefully. I'll be able to retreat to my lovely bed again. I miss my bed. I love my bed. Although I need to buy myself a new mattress too. So that's probably the source of the sciatic problem. I've got a bit of a dent in my mattress. Well, it is, just over 10 years old now. So time to replenish that. So anyway, on that note, on those little observations and tiny little bit of grizzlings, I continue my readings of Even Date, 28th of January 2024. I titled it, Oppression of the COVID Epoch has been building for some time. Time to watch it be dismantled. And yes, I've enjoyed watching various scientists and doctors finally wake up and see that we have excess deaths and adverse reactions and unexplained sudden deaths, and well, the truth will always out, people. The truth will always out. And if you're noble and dignified and have courage and live your life by truth, for truth, of truth, in truth, stand in your own integrity and honour and dignity, then you can hold your head high that you got through the last 4 years cleaving to your truth, even though you were shadow banned and attacked at every turn. You know who you are. You're like me, courageous and decent, and I send much love and blessings out to you, because it was a horrific time period in our lives, and it's not completely over yet. Now we're seeing the fallout. according to my laptop, there's an accident on the Pacific Highway, and it's currently 26 degrees, which is a lot cooler than it was yesterday. So I haven't put the aircon on. I turned it off when I woke up, and I've opened up the windows and the front door and let fresh air blow through this house. Here's a photo of my Penny, who is now in Valhalla. This cat was very precious to me, and was a soulmate to me, and a much loved and valued cat. Look at her long whiskers. Sweet girl. I captioned it 2017, which is, I was still seething with rage about a certain American president, ex-president, he of the orange face and the toupee and the ugliness, his ugly, soul-deep ugliness, who bragged about grabbing women on their pussy. So I wrote, photo of my pussy, Penny Cat, grab her if you dare. There was a typo there, but I meant you dear. Yeah. Can't believe that motherfucker's actually winning seats again in America. America, the soul of the people has died if you're voting for that one again. You don't have to agree with me, you can have your own bloody politics, but by the gods, it makes me sick to my core. But I don't live in America, and I hope your choices don't impact on the rest of Western civilization anymore, because it's toxic and it's moronic and it's a bit dangerous. Here's a photo from 2023 of my pond and the flowers on my Monstera deliciosa. I think that's a Monstera Tau, T-A-U, that I bought, but it's similar to a deliciosa. But the fruit has been sitting there for months, hasn't ripened, so I don't know if it's an edible variety or not. I'll have to find out and Google if it's edible before I eat it, because I was tempted to eat it. The fruit looks the same as the deliciosa, which part of me I've got growing on the other side. Sorry, I just had peanut butter on toast and I was conscious that I was like, peanut butter's stuck in my teeth. Here I write, I've been upsetting myself for about a week over my leaking, rusted out shower stall I use for a bird bath. This afternoon I had a eureka moment. Proper pond liner costs $75. But I had this leftover plastic I used for floor covering when I was pouring resin on my decoupage projects. It works perfectly. It's not UV stabilised plastic, so it probably won't last long outside. But it will hopefully give me more time to source a newer square bath, because I like that square bath, so I can keep my wild birds in the style they have become accustomed to. I am so happy I had this moment of genius. And here's a close-up of the beautiful flower from that Monstera Tau. It's beautiful, isn't it? Absolutely exquisite. A Shehekianu, the first bloom of my dwarf Monstera Tau. It's never flowered or fruited before. It must be about 7 years old. I don't know if its fruit is edible like the Monstera deliciosa, but I will find out soon, I guess. Nah, still haven't found out, because I would have just bitten into it, quite frankly, if it had ripened up. And if it tasted funny, I probably would have not pursued with it, but I should find out before I eat it. I take a little bit of risk eating things, and I'm not sure if they're poisonous or not. There's a woman down in Victoria, a case, she killed all her friends and family at a lovely luncheon with poisonous mushrooms, and they still haven't ground down into whether she did it deliberately to murder them or whether it was an accidental poisoning or not. So, but it's a bit of a weird case. But anyway, probably, no, I can't ascribe guilt on her because they simply don't know yet. But anyway, how awful. Invite people for lunch, put these mushrooms in this beef Wellington. That's a suspicious thing, that it was sort of hidden away in another meal, right? Hidden within the recipe. And they all died. One died and one came very close to death. So, not good. And I think 2 people died. But anyway, it's all a bit awful and very upsetting for the woman if she is innocent. It's a hard thing to prove that you're innocent. It's also just as hard to prove that you're guilty. But anyway, so yes, what I'm saying is be careful what you serve up to your friends and family, unless you deliberately trying to murder them, then you know what you're doing. But anyway, that's an awful thought, but people do these things, unfortunately. I had a lovely visit from Robin and Peter and her grandson Jaden. Jaden wanted to see my crystal and rock collection. He also delighted in looking at my shell collection. I bought us a chocolate mud cake, which although Jaden rarely eats sweets, he thoroughly enjoyed. He's a very quiet little boy, very withdrawn, very introverted and quiet. He's a sweetheart, but it's unusual for little boys to be so withdrawn and quiet. Reminded me a bit of myself as a child. So believe it or not, I used to be very quiet and introverted and withdrawn, and I only really started to come out of my shell a bit, by the time I got married around about 19. Became more confident and out there and ebullient and wild. I'd been quiet enough for 19 years, I suppose. But be very afraid if I ever go quiet. If I'm having a debate or an argument with someone and I go quiet, worry. It's the calm before the storm, people. Anyway, I live alone. I don't have to deal with maniacs anymore, so that doesn't happen anymore, which is why I'm healing, right? Life is better for me, not being surrounded by fucking arseholes and maniacs. It was lovely to have a child in the house to play grandma and teach him about crystals. I gave him and his little sister a little glass bottle each with crystals in them. He was delighted. Coco, that's the Peter and Robin's little dog. Coco's little black, tiny little black Shih Tzu crossed with poodle, who adores me, who had been very unwell all morning, perked up when she saw me and had lots of Coco cuddles. So we all had a lovely, merry time. If there's one soul on this planet that absolutely adores me, it's my bird and little Coco. No one loves me as much as they do. No one but no one. Yesterday, my cleaning lady that the government sends to me once a week, a devout Muslim woman, but spiritually attuned like me, told me that while she was vacuuming Charlie's room, this room is also now my jewellery making studio, the vacuum suddenly turned itself off. I sometimes get poltergeist activity in that room. I had a very valuable, very large plate from Royal Dalton with Aries on it, with the ram painted on it. I'm an Aries. and it literally jumped off the top of the hutch and smashed to my feet a few years back, and I was livid because it was a valuable plate. I can't replace it. I was absolutely livid at that spirit and told them so. So how dare you break my good china? I suspect that spirit was David Davidson, but I'm not 100% sure. I can't prove it, but it was around about the time frame, just a few years after that haunting, and he'd still drift in and out occasionally, which used to really enrage me because he wasn't allowed to gain entry to my home. But yeah, whoever that spirit was got my attention, smashing my beautiful, massive big plate. It was about that big. So I've got other plates up there that the spirit could have broken that wouldn't have pissed me off quite as much because they were my mum's and I was sentimental about them. But no, they smashed my Aries plate, which is why I think it was Davidson, because he was an Aries too, and that's the connection. He was really trying to get my attention. So that's why I decided that. But anyway, he's not allowed in my house. Occasionally you'll hear me talk to him and he'll be like, yeah, all right, get out of my house. That's why. Because I don't want him breaking things, and I don't want him hanging around me. He's dead. And he was never made a commitment to me, was never loyal, never trustworthy. Why would I want it spooking up my house? So just talking about it draws that energy, so you'll hear me say he can fuck off. But I just want, I only want true loves in my home, in my space. I even have a sign at my gate that says, true authentic love welcome here. I flipped it around because the other side says, sacred space, no hawkers, no proselytizers, no trespassers, and no psychic vampires. And he was a psychic vampire when he was alive. So was Wiglet, by the way, who's still living, still haunts me while in his living form at red lights and crossroads like a gimp, but, massive drain he was. He was just so feckless and insincere and awful. Yet he finds himself haunting me wittingly or unwittingly. Even I could see him laughing about it, but it's not actually funny. He needs to stop that shit. Didn't want me, so fuck off. Like, seriously. Anyway, I segued from the vacuum suddenly turned itself off. She looked at the vacuum but could see nothing leaning against the power button. So she checked the wall where the plug was. There's some lovely cool air blowing in through the windows. It's on my arms. My hairs on my arms have all gone up, but it's from the cool. Oh, it's lovely. Bring more, bring more. Bring more cool. Can't get much cooler than the Tanya. Just saying. She was astonished but flicked the switch back on and kept vacuuming. She joked, someone doesn't like the noise of the vacuum cleaner in Charlie's room. I laughed. I was outside with both Beauregard and Charlie. I said, if it keeps happening, these little poltergeist pranks, I will have to exorcise the spirit. But I don't feel any heavy negativity, so we will just ignore it for now. I told her, as we are both menopausal women and it's extremely hot, the energy is probably reacting to our energy. "12:57 p.m. I didn't go dancing last night. I was too exhausted from the constant humidity. All my bones ached. I woke up at 9 a.m. I have been sitting under the myrtle tree with Charlie and Beauregard. Just going to move this so I don't have to hold it, but is that going to work? Oh yeah. I gave myself a pedicure. Lovely morning. Now it's almost, no, we're on an angle and I don't like that. See, I got to have it right. I'm very pedantic about things. Very pedantic. That'll do. Oh dear goddess. So, gave myself a pedicure, lovely morning. Now it's almost 1 p.m. and a storm is blowing through. Lots of rumbling in the sky. I look forward to the rain and some relief from the incessant churning heat. I think it will miss us at Holland Park though. I hope not. We need the release. And interestingly, a year later, we've got lots of lovely juicy rain today. I was sitting on the grass and I had this intense telepathy with Dave. I pushed it down. It's not okay that he still pervades my energy field. I told myself it could be any one of my male friends, doctor or acquaintances that I might be picking up on. Just as I pushed back at that energy, a black four-wheel drive slowly drove down Topaz Street. For a moment I held my breath in surprise, but it wasn't a Jeep, so not his vehicle. Not that he has even driven here. I should say, has ever driven here, but I used to see his vehicle at Crossroads often last year, which was why I invoked Papa Legba for protection, because he's the guardian of Crossroads, which kind of worked. I didn't see him until 13th of December last year, so that manifestations of him appearing on the road right next to me or beside me or opposite me stopped pretty much, except for that one event late last year. So I watched as this big black four-wheel drive slowly drove down the street. Someone lost or cruising around the neighbourhood. No harm, no foul. But I get these advanced trickster type warnings days or weeks before he turns up at either drumming or the casino. So I'm a tad bemused that after all these years I still have a powerful connection to his spirit. And it is kind of bemusing, since there was no real need for that connection, but I did put a lot of energy because I was madly in love with him for a few years there. So I guess that's where the psychic bond got formed. It was actually my doing. So now when I saw him last time, it's like, yeah, where are you going to find a woman like that? But you know what, it's weird that he's still drawn to me whether I like it or not. That's also weird, given that we're not friends anymore, haven't been for quite some time, quite a few years now. So I guess that love bite, that psychic vampirism on his part, will have to run its course naturally, which gratefully it seems to be on the tail end now, that I only run into him on very rare occasions, which is good. He brought nothing good to my life, nothing, just grief and horror and treachery and awfulness and slander and backstabbing at the pub with that creature. Anyway, never fuck with the Tanya. She recognises your soul signature anywhere, but I will not be playing into fey trickster games. If he wants to communicate with me, he can do it in 3D reality, in real world interfacing. And I write lol, laughing out loud, because I know he's too much of a gutless coward and has no couth or integrity or honour to ever communicate with me face to face. No, instead his cousin runs around me in circles in my, at that time, fairly new dance place. Although I'd been there before, but it was the first time I'd gone there and spent an entire evening. Just saying. 28th of January 2022. I just got back from grocery shopping at Coles Greenslopes. The oppression and fear was intense and grew more strident as I traversed the aisles. No toilet paper, no paper towels, little meat on the shelves, lots of empty shelving everywhere. I had to remind myself that Woolworths is no better, and this latest outrage is due to media and government hysteria. The public don't know what they don't know, so they panic buy. Like sheep they are, running madly into survival mode because they tell you there's going to be a lack of this and a lack of that, whip them into hysteria. And it's all bullshit most of the time. Absolute lies and deception. Complete evil it was. Anyway, I am walking around the vegetable section, quietly freaking out at the exorbitant prices, because they were price gouging as well. I wanted to buy mushrooms, but they looked already black, so were not fresh. Where did that fly come from? Suddenly there's a fly buzzing me. It's like, how did it even get in the house? I think to myself, perhaps I should buy celery, but I go past it and look at some other produce. Beside me, a large celery stalk flies off the display and lands on the floor. An Asian lady opposite me and I both stared in momentary shock. Neither of us had touched the display or were near it. We both looked at each other and laughed. I say out loud, okay, we get it. To be fair, it might not have been a poltergeist, and the celery might have just been placed in such a way that it could easily fall off. But I think it jumped off the display table, so I am going with poltergeist, and I am certain that was an answer to my thought that I should buy the celery, followed by the thought that I'm worried about getting enough food to eat in the coming weeks. And I have a fair idea who that poltergeist was too. Obviously followed me into the shopping centre, and it was weird. Well, it might be a local spirit to that shopping centre, but it was a bit weird, really was. I left the store and drove to Coco's, where I bought a celery there, some pumpkin and zucchini. Coco's felt slightly less oppressive and even had some stocks of toilet paper. I bought a small packet to keep me going. Life is weird in Brisbane, but the spirits have my back. Rain stopping in the next 1.5 hours. That's nice. I also stopped in at the skin cancer clinic at Greenslopes. They want over $60 up front just to do a skin check. Medicare rebates, most except $25. I can't afford to get my skin checked, and I don't have much trust in doctors right now, so I walked out without making an appointment. I have fresh cancerous lesions on my back and shoulders. I guess I will die from this, which is a bit scary since my uncle in Germany died of advanced skin cancer, so there is a history, darlings. But then he's a half-brother to my mother. Oh, but I guess the DNA is still swirling in my veins since his father was my mother's biological father. So yeah, I'm at great risk of dying of skin cancer. Try not to think about it, actually. I've got some on my shoulders on the top. You can't see it, but they're all scaly and in amongst my tattoo, and I can feel it eating away at me. Yeah, I've started to panic about that too, but instead I will cut some aloe vera and try to heal my skin cancers naturally. The stress from living under this COVID epoch with health professionals fueled by greed and hatred for other humans is causing my cancers to spread like wildfire. And let's face it, the radiation, the smart meter, the radiation coming off my iPhone, which I'm on almost constantly, especially when I'm making these videos, the 5G, all those factors that we're living in a soup of radiation. Even the ED department at the QE2 told me don't have any more x-rays. The radiation is causing cancers to bloom in people. It's all just too much toxic load. So I'm very conscious that I'm still sprouting new things, and it's a worry, people. It's a great worry. But ding! Push it away. Try not to think about it. Stay healthy, stay wild, stay free, stay in love with myself and with life and my few true friends and beloveds that love me back. And the rest can all just go to hell in a handbasket, quite frankly, because I'm done. I remind myself this is all temporary, which everything is temporary, people. And I must continue as I have done for the past 2 years, not buy into the government state-run sponsored evil bullshit. They have taken quite enough from me. Quite enough. Including homes, businesses, my rightful inheritance, quite enough. 28th of January 2021. Yet another lawn mowing person has let me down. Meanwhile, the grass keeps growing. I'm off to Kapalaba to get the paperwork to apply for a no-interest loan scheme loan to buy my own lawnmower. I am done being abused by male lawn mowing contractors. Just done. 28th of January 2020. I'm just going to run out to the kitchen because my the medication for my bladder is due at 10 o'clock and it's 10:02. So I'll be back in a moment. Won't be long. Oh, hang on. Make sure my light isn't stuck at my bum. I'm back. Did you miss me? Did you miss me? Look at this little tiny thing. So, this is the 8th day now, and it's not really working, but Mama T, aka the Tanya, is so treatment resistant to most drugs. I actually am not surprised it's not working. But I'll give it another week because it might take a few weeks for it to, for my brain to comply with the signalling, and I can see I'm holding larger volumes during the night, even though I'm still getting up to pee 3 or 4, sometimes 6 times still. On a good night, I'm not getting up every 15 minutes to 30 minutes like I did a few nights ago. That was awful. That was just terrible. And so it's starting to shift. I'm just praying that it's working, people. It's a very expensive drug. It's costing me $66 a month. So it's going to be a very expensive long haul, that one. But anyway, if it works, then it's worth every penny. And if it doesn't, I'm fucked. So, do you like how I process things in my own mind? Anyway, no, if it doesn't work, Botox is still an option, but I'm equally scared of that too. So I never even wanted to put Botox to fix my wrinkle because I don't like poisons being put into my body. I really don't. If I was going to put Botox, it would have been to fix this massive big frown crease that makes me look like a victim from all the years of stress and trauma. But what can I do? If Botox calms the bladder, then Botox will be the key ingredient to knock me off my socks, right? Probably will literally knock me off my socks too and kill me. Oh, happy thoughts, Tanya, happy thoughts. Life is beautiful, be in it, keep fighting, Tanya. That's how I talk to myself. So in 2020 I wrote, prednisone is making me crazy, which it does, makes me batshit crazy. Mind racing, obsessing over food like a woman in an apocalypse. Calypso blues, yada yada yada, funny as hell in a way. I have had a rest and lying in bed have obsessed over driving to Red Rooster. Why Red Rooster? Why? Finally, my inner mother kicked in and said, get up and make toast with avocado. It's healthier. So here I am, making toast, still sulking and pining for chips, chocolate, and Tropicana packs. It's insane, really. Now defrosting chicken niblets for dinner so I don't run wild and give in to my fast food emergency craving. Baby inner child Tanya gets very opulent and demanding when she's sick or feels life-threatened. I turn into an absolute spoilt, pedantic brat, even with myself. It's quite frightening, actually. Miss Five always wins, by the way. Miss Five is a terrifying force of nature, and I think Miss Five is the reason I'm still alive today. Because when that kid wants her own way, she gets it, by the gods. Thank God Miss Five isn't in charge of my sexuality, or the men would be in a great deal of danger indeed. If she wants you, she'd have you. Anyway, you have to laugh. Here I've written, oh behave, camembert or brie on toast. That was me being sarcastic because I couldn't talk myself into Red Rooster. So I'm telling my inner child, oh behave, we're gonna eat something else that's a bit healthier. You have to laugh. At least I can take the mickey out of my own self, you know. Gotta have a bit of fun before you die, people. I bought groceries online in contemplation of the deep joy of not having to leave the house in search of food tomorrow, as I will be relishing the new air conditioner. Also, my ear still hurts, so I'll be resting as much as I can. Update, 28th of January 2021. Ha ha. Glad that my asthma is better managed now. Serotype every morning. I still get short of breath and cough, but not as bad as I was. I actually had bad asthma for most of last year too, but there's a little bit of a wheeze there now with all the dampness we're experiencing, but I haven't been too bad lately. Got to get a script for some more Ventolin though, because I'm on my last 2 inhalers. Anyway, all these things I have to worry about. It's sort of annoying, really. Wow, so many cool memories tonight. Seriously, need to sleep now. Busy morning with contractor, which means I won't sleep at all. Must try at least. Lila Tov Kulam. Kulam means everyone. I sometimes pepper my writings with bits of foreign languages, just because, why not? I find it colourful and interesting. Of course, no one else that doesn't speak those languages know what that means, but you can Google. Lila Tov means good night. Kulam means you all. 28th of January 2019. Happy and grateful for my loyal, loving friends. Kiss, kiss, kiss. Blessed, beautiful rain. Woot. And again, woot. Oh, yesterday was a hellish day. It was so hot. I had the air conditioning on all day and all night. It's how scathingly hot it was. I may have finally shifted the heavy stone that was placed on my heart on Christmas Eve, by my daughter no less. I feel not quite lighter, but like I've gone through some kind of initiation. My heart is less crushed, and I have found renewed strength in my core somehow. I find this quite miraculous. Grief no longer stays with me for very long, although its profound effects do slay me for a few weeks, but I am always rising up. Last night I had a fit of temper at the casino after a bunch of drunk yobbos managed carelessly to throw a glass of vodka all over my dress. They were tossing one of their friends' iPhone to each other, so one man failed to catch it and threw his glass of drink in my direction. I had already told them to settle down. Security did nothing as usual. It was a quiet night, not many on the dance floor, but my dress, which fortunately was black, was wet and I was livid. So I stood up and approached the alpha male dickhead, not the guy who tossed the drink, who I had observed looked shocked already, but the one that had them tossing the phone in the first place. I said, "Now you can dry me off." I wiped my alcohol-soaked arms on his shirt and pressed my chest into his shirt as well and dried the booze on him. He looked shocked and embarrassed. Good. I sat back down like nothing had happened and quietly seethed for another hour or two. The lads toned down their schoolboy larrikinism. It was one of their group's birthday. I went off later to a couple of my songs and realised that I was in my zone. I felt beautiful, powerful, and most of all, validated. No harm, no foul, and the immature dickhead lads kept away from me, which was also good. Motherfuckers they were, they really were. Foul. The band wished the guy a happy birthday, and they seemed to all be friends, so I just rolled with it. The guy in the band thanked me at the end of the night for supporting them, which I thought was actually lovely. And he would have seen that I dried my dress off on his mate, who was just, well, he probably realised it was a bit fucking rude of them, how they behaved anyway. I had asked them to tone it down. So after my brief, intense warrior goddess flare-up, I ended up having a good night after all. Isn't that weird? Like I say, I lose my temper, but it doesn't stay. I'm not one of these people that are like a chihuahua nitpicking. I flare up and it's gone, move on. We ended up having a lovely night. So there you go. Even though I went through periods of rage, then actual boredom and exhaustion, I rose magnificently to mosh out some of my emotions to a few songs that I like. Wildness, freedom, authenticity have their own unique blessings. I am a force to be reckoned with, and I love it. Now feeling rather exhausted, with very sore feet and muscles. Hope I'm not going to start drooling. It's the second time I'm conscious that I've spat out of my mouth. Gross. If that's a side effect of that drug, it will stop immediately. I used to drool on Kogenta, and that won't be happening again. I'm sick of this constant poisoning that happens to me to keep me alive, right? Not going to do it. I have options. You know what they are. Now feeling rather exhausted and with very sore feet and muscles, I skipped my usual Epsom salt bath as I was too tired this morning. From the sublime to the ridiculous. From rabid, fierce warrior dancing queen to hobbling, fragile, little old hobbit woman, still dreaming of true love, safety, and much needed peace. Wow. No one's going to take me on in the state I'm in now, darlings. They just tease and taunt and play sweet little romantic games and think they're taking the piss, right? Well, it's alright. I'm fully capable of taking the piss back, but I don't bother because life's short. I want happiness in my life, not romantic, sick war games like I had in the past with Dave and the other lovers in the past. No, I want someone genuine and heartfelt this time, and I'm not settling for anything else. I'll revert to warrior goddess mode and continuously live my best life and take no prisoners. Love is a battlefield, but it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be a battlefield. It should be sweet and wholesome and endearing and delightful and kind and generous and comforting. Wow, that seems to only work out for other women, unfortunately, not for me. Dichotomous diurnal variations and flux and flow of the effluvial psychedelic dreaming, always and forever becoming more and more myself, setting myself free of traitors and false friends, has gifted me with renewed vigour, hope, and a deeper love. Something miraculous occurs when you no longer accept others' bullshit or abuse. One simply begins to fly in the face of society, one's own reason, and fears. I have observed something else quite strange. Since I reclaimed my power that night, Dave and Sarah hoped to hurt me and humiliate me outside the kebab shop on 5th of January 2019. Pardon me. Regulars from Irish Murphys that usually dance near me at the casino with contemptuous stares and body language have suddenly in recent weeks started dancing in front of me, being friendly, seeking my approval. Odd. I know they all know Sarah, so I have zero trust or respect for any of them, but I remained polite and dignified, even warm. I guess they heard how I told her she stinks and needs to get her untreated chlamydia seen to. She really does. Hopefully she's done that by now after all these years. I mean, it's been 19 to 24 5 years. Haven't seen her out much in the scene ever again. So maybe she died, maybe she's moved away. I couldn't give a flying fuck either way. But yeah, that stinking needed to be addressed. It really did. Anyway, so they think they are aligning with another abuser, but I am not out to abuse anyone. I'm really not. Have no interest in that. I was just angry and disgusted that Sarah and Dave could be so cruel as to demonstrate their contempt for me after all the kindness and love I poured into both of them in their own day. Ugly, dirty, filthy people. So I expected full-blown attacks from either or both of them, and instead I have had their group of cohorts fawn and fate me. Human nature. We're like wild animals. They go to the person they deem the most powerful and strong, right? Oh, darlings. Oh, darlings. I don't play those games either. Which shows how the proletariat are easily impressed by a powerful or perceived to be powerful person, even a bully. They probably realised that for me to sink to their level proves that I am human after all, and of course truthful and authentic even in my fury. So there has been a realignment, a shift in my own mind and in my own encounters with people. Another man at the casino has suddenly been courting my friendship. Interesting. I have held him at bay for 2 or 3 years now, but suddenly I am being sought out and fussed over. Maybe it was just because they saw my kindness to Peter when he broke down in front of me. Maybe the regulars are starting to see I am both fair and kind, but when pushed to the extreme, I will fight for myself. Standing up and being counted has unexpected privileges, like respect. Jenny has come over to keep me company. I am glad to have someone to keep an eye on me and have a chat. Thanks, Jenny. 2:46 p.m. I have had a good sleep on the couch with my dog beside me. Legs still painful, but sleep is precious, especially for the psychedelic dreamer. I had lots of wild dreams this morning too. It was very odd. I can't remember all of them, but one of them was about my car. My car was being driven past me. I went, who's driving my car? I was a bit concerned that someone had taken my car. It was odd. Anyway, my mind was busy all morning in my psychedelic dreaming, but I don't have clear memories, so apart from that one thing about my car. So obviously if I'm meant to remember them, they'll flash back to me later in the day, and if not, I'll dream them again tonight if they're important. Sometimes I have serial dreams like watching TV shows, people. It's quite astonishing how I can pick up from a dream and continue on. 8:15 a.m. I managed 5 hours of painful, fitful sleep from 2 a.m, but slept in blocks of 1 hour, which was intense, but had to get up to pee hourly. I slept, so this is back in 2019. As I said, this getting up through the night constantly has been going on for at least 8 years. Here's the proof. That was 5 years ago. And now that medication's starting to make me drool. It's like gross. Oh well. The only way I'll get a man now is if he's got paresthesia into fucking cripples. It's a horrible thought, people. Horrible, horrible thought. I will kill myself before that happens. I slept from 6 until 8 a.m. without interruption. 2 hours of deep REM sleep, which, believe it or not, even that small amount of sleep, being a deep REM sleep, is still refreshing. It's a frightening thought, watching my brain decompensate from all the chronic exhaustion. It's not good, people. It's why I make these videos. Believe it, I go over them as much as anyone else that takes interest in my my decline into, I guess, my ultimate death. Some of you've probably got Schadenfreude, Sarah and Dave. You were never my friends, never my lover. You were just fucking cesspits of evil. So I'm well aware that you probably watch my videos and rejoice in my decline. That's okay, because your decline too one day comes to us all, babies. But yeah, I go over the videos and I sometimes laugh at my own self. Funny things I say, or all the things I worried about that didn't actually manifest too. It's all small stuff. Shouldn't sweat the small stuff, people. Life's too short. But when you have complex PTSD and a mood disorder from years of chronic anxiety and actual attacks on my actual life, you get a brain like mine that does tend to sweat the small stuff too much and focus on minutiae, because I'm constantly trying to draw a framework around all the abuse and trauma, right? Where to draw the line, where not to, where to forgive and where not to, where to hold hope out for a better future, and when to know it's time to give the fuck up, give it all up. So that's what this is really about, people. Me keeping a recording of my life as I know it, and what has been soul nourishing and enriching and beautiful, and what has been pure ugliness, like those two individuals. So there is that. And don't worry, I cleaved to them both for a long time in denial about their evil and ugliness. I did not want to believe that I had chosen badly yet again in a friend and in a lover. And that denial meant that I tried extra hard to hold it all together. And until the night of the 22nd of August, where I hit the reset button, discovered I wasn't allowed to die either. So here we are again and again and again, after 2019, 25th of June, when I had that other near-death experience after the cholecystectomy. Here I am, 4.5 years, it'll be 5 years in June, plugging fucking on. So I am a force of nature. I am formidable, and I'm a wonderful woman who deserves only the very best. The sweetest, most heartfelt, genuine lover, and enough prosperity to get me out of the poverty trap, and better health if I can manifest it. At this late stage of life, it's not looking very likely, but I've performed miracles in my own life before that I'm even sitting on this chair talking to you. So there is that. I must never ever underestimate myself. I continue on. I can't remember if I read that last paragraph already. The 2 hours of deep Meryl Streep, Oh my goodness. The 2 hours of deep REM sleep. I want to say something sarcastic like I'm on a streetcar of desire, dreaming of Meryl Streep, but no, I never dream of Meryl Streep. She's a fine actor, but, you know, anyone that promoted this is not my friend now. I find them disgusting, so I lost a lot of fondness for the movie stars and the singers and the celebrities that shilled that. So there is that. Anything that they say now, they have no honour and integrity in my eyes. So anything that sounds honourable and integral is, to me, just lies and deception and bullshit. They're not trustworthy. They've lost any mark of respect or trust that I might have ever had for them in the past. I still watch the movies, I'll still listen to the music, but them as a person, nah, just nah. So I wrote, that has helped a bit. The leg pain is still severe, but I am grateful to my beautiful friends for bringing meals and for keeping me company. You are awesome, feeling much loved and cared for. So that was 2018 that I had the leg problem, wasn't it? I'm sure this relates to 2019. Yeah, it was 2019. So I'm pretty sure the leg problem started in 2018. It must have carried on to 2019. That was bad, people. That was also really painful and bad. My doctor really didn't do much for it, just kept trying to push drugs on me. It was like, well, they don't work. Neither of them worked. It's just awful. 28th of January 2017. Here are some photos of my pussy. Grab her if you dare. I miss her. I just seeing her face just brightens my whole visage. Look at my beautiful girl. Look at her. Just look at her. She was just so fucking gorgeous. She was mid-yawn in that first shot. That's why she's like showing off all her teeth. No, don't. It's just switched off on me. Are you kidding? Are you kidding me, laptop? No, it's perfectly serious. Right, here we go. I woke up at 9:30 a.m. Another hot, steamy day. This is in 2017, people. So I didn't write anything in 2018. Ugh. I have let the chooks out, topped up a pond, fed the fish, and cleaned up after one of the cats who shat and peed on the washing on the bathroom floor. Not a nice wake-up call. Whole house stunk of cat pee. So I raced out to rinse off the linen basket, throw towels and clothes to soak in the laundry tub. I will have to go out later to buy more vinegar. No, vinegar doesn't get rid of it. I had to buy a proper enzyme cleaner. Oh dear goddess. Anyway, the stink is hard to get out of clothes, even if I wash them. It had to be Sophie, as Mushu was outside when I opened the door this morning, little fiend. So they all take turns at trashing my house. If this keeps up, I will have to make them all sleep outside at night. And my friend Sally wrote, sorry on behalf of my evil cat. And I wrote, came home to more cat shit, this time on my woolen rug in my bedroom. Big, fresh, steaming turd. Annoying. Pussies are majorly acting out. Sally wrote, maybe they are worried Drumpf will grab them. And I wrote, not in my house. We would castrate the putrid orange bastard. We really would too. Well, it's a nice thought anyway. But yeah, anyway, that acting out wasn't really acting out. Sophie was on the decline and, basically entering that zone between living and dying, as we all do eventually. I hadn't realised that she was unwell, so there was that. I picked a bad time to go off my antidepressants and anti-anxiety drugs almost 8 months ago. I have done well to keep my head about me as the Western world has crumbled into despotism before my very eyes. It would be so easy to go back to taking the blues pills, the yellow pill Valium I reserve for dire emergencies only. There are not enough drugs in the known universe that can make this reality okay. In the past 8 months, Donald Trump became president. Anti-Semitism is rampant. I witnessed that brewing in recent years on the streets of the CBD. Women are victimised, experienced that too firsthand, and even the homeless are vilified as if their broken lives were not hard enough. Bullies, tyrants, racists, bigots and rapists, child fuckers and their henchmen get light sentences or are not even prosecuted. The world is bathed in the blood of innocents, but their sacrifice will not ever clean the great tide of filth that walks among us. People sleepwalk or close their eyes to the truth, for they cannot bear to step up to the plate and take responsibility for our collusions under coercions. This was 2017, people, 3 years before our current COVIDian epoch. I was so traumatised for decades that I too walked the mental patient shuffle and slept. But even in my psychedelic dream, I fought for justice, safety and peace for us all. Even as I lay dying, metamorphosing, transmuting, I hope to wake up in a better, safer, more equitable world. But the world of cowardice and apathy, of hate and rape and theft, voted and inaugurated Trump. His counterparts around the world salivate with glee. They seek only money and death. What good will come of this? Purging the world of the poor and downtrodden, so the planet is peopled by only a few surviving billionaires with bad attitudes and bad hair. I know of other maniacs that tried that. Hitler, Stalin, Mussolini, Franco, Pol Pot, Idi Amin, bathing the world in the blood of decent, innocent, but vulnerable people. Made vulnerable because they could not, would not believe these monsters were intent to decimate them. When the bombs fell and the concentration camps opened, and we, the people, were tortured, starved, beaten, raped, mutilated, and thrown into pits or went up in smokestacks, while the average Joe in Poland refused to admit the acrid stench of smoke in their nostrils was Jewish hair and Jewish flesh jellied in the Nazi fires. Everybody look busy. Death is not only coming, but licking our eyeballs. When entire nations go rabid with the greed and frenzied bloodlust, who will declare a safe haven that was once so admirably a beacon of the USA? Who will step up and be decent in the face of this new but ancient repeat performance of pure, unadulterated evil? Australia? Anyone? No time to look busy. We need to act now and quickly. And it's too late for those of us, of our population across the globe, who are suddenly, unexpectedly dying, of the babies born, stillborn, or the young children dying unexpectedly. It's too late for those innocents. And still we are silenced, and still nothing is done. Isn't that interesting? They knew what they were doing to us as a species, by the way. They fucking knew. This comment was attached to a post, but it did not get shared, so I have copied and pasted because continuity is everything, babies, and I am a stubborn motherfucker. See below. The only things that are stymieing my full potential is poverty and complex PTSD. Otherwise, I would be doing so much more with my life. And a huge thank you to those precious rare souls who literally financed me to stay alive, keep my head above water, and gave me their precious time and constant, staunch love. You know who you are, my true family and greatest heroes. I need another drink. Guess it can wait till we finish. You loved me when I was a drooling, shuffling, zombie mental patient surrounded by so much pernicious evil. Thank you to those who truly did love me and had my back, by the way, and who are still in my life, because you were strong and determined and loving and kind. I love you. You loved me when, in my current rebirthing, I became a warrior goddess, wild, wise woman, still desperately seeking a love partner and agonizingly still finding my feet and courage and faith and trust in myself and humanity on a certain spot, on a certain dance floor. The threshing floor of my life, the gravel rash of my brave but broken heart, still holding on for love, hope, and my own becoming after all these decades. To all the non-Aussies, did you hear the kookaburra laughing at us? That's their bird call. They're sitting up on the power lines out in the street in the rain, shaking out. He shook out all his feathers. This is my happiness, people. This is what cleaves me to life. The beauty of nature and the wildlife around us. You loved me as I learned to trust my heart and my intuition, as I cried and despaired over false, feckless, vicious, cruel and empty people. Psychic vampires who drained and sucked and stomped every morsel of joy, life force and goodness out of me, and who would still leech more from me, but whom ultimately can never be satiated or filled. Such is their own foul, mendacious void. So my true friends, my nurturers and protectors, who had to hold my head above water and even breathe new life into me and keep me precious, and are my living memory of how far, how very far, and how very fraught and dangerous my journey through life has been. Those who stood the test of time and withstood all the vicious treachery get to now bear witness to my new life experiences. Finally at home in my own skin, finally seeing with clarity all the two-bit players and their delusional infusions of perverse, cruel treachery. Finally forgiving myself for loving too much, and finally keeping my love reserved for those who truly cherish and value me, while cutting bonds to those who only sought to destroy me. Getting free and happy again, blossoming, living in spite of my many limitations. Allowing the healing of heart, mind, soul, and rejoicing in the condensed, purified remnants of what was left after so much wetting and whelping in the life of the Tanya. Older, perhaps weirder, but still fucking lovely. I'm going to blow myself a little kiss. To you, Tanya, for your courage and for your heart. One year later, exactly the same pattern has repeated. Astounding. But yes, round and round we go on the monkey organ grinder's circle of life. The nearer to my destination, the more I am sliding away. For me, fucking double. Don't mind me, prednisone-inspired hypomania is deliriously delightful. Yes, Desiree. The men came out to play, then ran away, as they can't measure up to my bizarre genius, which I realise is probably just a euphemism for idiot savant, and oh how I have wasted my love and life on lacklustre, vicious little idiots. So that means I am one too, as after all, like cures like. Humbling, stumbling, confounding revelations in the night, but authentic babies. Lila Tov. I have set my alarm for 8 a.m. so I can wash my hair and look semi-human when the workmen arrive. I moved some of the furniture, but have to move everything out. Eek. 28th of January 2015. Oh yes, keep blowing into my windows, breeze. That's delicious. I'm going to have a shower after I finish this video. I need to wash my hair, wash off the sweat. I didn't wear a bra yesterday, and I didn't wear a bra the day before, and I don't think I'll wear a bra today. And this is also a sign that this drug is having an effect on my brain, because when I was on very, very heavy psych meds, there was a 2-year period where I did not want to wear a bra, so I didn't. And I looked terrible, by the way. And I shuffled and I drooled and my titties wobbled. And I didn't give a flying fuck about any of it, because I suddenly lacked any sense of personal pride and decorum, and just, was existing like a zombie existence. And now we're back, me not wanting to wear a bra. But it's only day 3 and it has been extremely hot. So I won't panic just yet about the changes in my functioning. But I'm just making a note of it in case it continues for the long term. I'll know that this drug is my psychiatrist worried, can be a instigator of depression and Alzheimer's, which I'm still sharp as a tack and synapsing on all 4 cylinders, but that not wanting to wear a bra is not a good sign, people. But then if I ask the other women in the neighbourhood, they'll probably tell me, yeah, we haven't been wanting to wear ours either. It's just been too scathingly hot. And wherever you be, let your titties roam free. You have to laugh, people. 28th of January 2015. Thank you, God, for all the beautiful, kind and supportive people in my life. I am so grateful and humbled to have received your sincere love and care. It makes my detractors look very myopic, petty and silly indeed. I am exhausted by my life, which is one bad case of humiliating persecution after another. It really was awful. That was the worst year of my life that year. It really does make my mind boggle. All I have ever done is get up, show up, dress up, strive, dance and strive to be happy, in spite of my innumerable adversities, and then go home to rest until my next opportunity to enjoy myself and with those around me, the musicians and fellow dancers, who all play the tunes of life and who are all attuned to the greatest music of all, in love, truth and natural justice, playfulness and humour. No matter what life throws at me, I know for a fact that there are good people in my world. People who know me and know I have never done wrong by anyone. I trust there are several people out there who will fight for me each and every time I am thrown to the hyenas. People of integrity and honour, of light and love. God bless you for loving me at my very best of times and even in my darkest times. I love you. I really do. I really do love you. Those of you who have historically and up to the current time frame had my back and front and sides. Your love kept me alive in the darkest of times. So, who cares if I go braless for another 2 years? In the grand scheme of things, doesn't fucking matter really. Staying alive, staying in love, staying as happy as I can manifest on each given day, that's all that matters. So pissed off. Just noticed I have left half my groceries at Woolworths. 12 tins of cat food and 2 bags of cat biscuits. How did I forget such a hefty lot of food? And how the hell did the console operator not notice? It's insane. I will have to ring them tomorrow. I don't understand how I do that, but I guess I wasn't well at the time. I had a nap from 6 till 9:30 p.m. Whoops! Mentally exhausted, but feel happier now. The night is ahead of me. I will keep busy and keep hopeful. And here I go on about the Irish Murphys thing again, which I'm done talking about. It's from 9 years ago, and fuck them. They can all just fuck off and go broke for all I care. They haven't gone broke because they're a pub, but they seethe with rot. I can still feel it seeping when I walk past occasionally to the 7-Eleven to get a pie or grab a coffee on my nights walking home if I park in the Maya Centre. And while I'm going past there, is I'm still looking occasionally for my friend Katrina to say good day and have a chat. But just even walking past that space, it's just, you feel slimed. It's just revolting. Absolutely revolting. Business can't be too great though, because they close a lot earlier in the last 4 or 5 years than they used to. It used to be a wild old time when I was there in 2014 and up until early 2015. It used to, the band would finish around about 2 and then there'd be a DJ going to about 4 or 5 in the morning, and I'd stay sometimes for the DJ as well and dance wildly, even more, whipping myself up into even more shamanic wildness because I'd be on my 5th or 6th winds of exhaustion by then. Even Dave used to come and just stare at me in awe because he knew that I'd been dancing all night, and then I'd continue on. I was a force to be reckoned with, people. And now my health is declining because, well, I'm old now. It's what happens. But my health was declining even back then, so I was fighting hard to suck every scrap of life force out of my own existence, fighting for my own life force. So I'm an amazing person, and I deserve to be treated with honour and integrity and true deep love, but that hasn't manifested in a love partnership, but it has manifested in my doctor and my beautiful friends who do adore me and do have my back. I know that. I know they do. I have been praying and manifesting for a happy, peaceful, loving life. I have had some lovely experiences in the past 3 weeks, but all that has been rocked and distorted, contorted by some more serial ugliness on the part of people I thought were friends. Now you know why I love many but trust no one. My life has taught me to expect rejection, betrayal, and the lacerating of my reputation, mind and soul based on someone else's envy or paranoia. I came to this world alone, naked and screaming, starving for love, acceptance, nurturing, even food. It's why I love to eat well to this very day. I will leave this world naked, hopefully not with a shriek, but a silent whimper, and perhaps hungry yet again. Hungry for love, justice, human decency, and for people I love to stand by me and with me, as a very few close friends have always done. I don't care that I was robbed of my comfortable lifestyle, cheated out of 4 homes, and slandered, betrayed by family and their associates, and driven out of various congregations, jobs, my own business, social venues, even a university and a TAFE once. I don't care whether people love me or hate me with their deluded ideas of me. I don't care that several people seduced me in their psychopathic game, garnered information about me, then turned on me like the filthy, lying trash they are, bought me drinks, then raped my soul, You know who you are. I do care and will fight you to my own death if necessary. That you endeavoured to prevent me from living in freedom, peace, happiness, and tried to stop me dancing and enjoying what is left of my life. You who have stolen from me my right to joy and my right to a contented 50s or 60s or 70s. You have no concept of whom you have attempted to destroy, you shadow puppet, vestiges of evil, played out in my dreams and in my life. I have done no harm, so I curse you to the 10th generation, you spawn of weakness and hatred and foul deception. Well, both those filthy bastards were infertile and have no children, and I myself will have no grandchildren due to my daughter's greatly diminished small window period of fertility. So my curse cuts both ways, babies. I too will be denied the joy of my progeny, and it is what it is. May the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, and Leah, primordial consciousness, the leveler of life and death, of time and space, and the wheel of destiny, hear my prayers. Measure for measure, until I am avenged in this life or the next. I am done with being scapegoated, betrayed, lied to, lied about, cast out, driven, and accursed. Enough already. The wheels of justice keep rolling. Now you have risen on the dust of my soul, but your days of glory are finite, you evil, evil, callow, cowardly hag. As you have sown, so shall you reap in the garden of your own filth and your own rot. Amen. V'salah. January 28th, 2013. American Horror Story. Awesome show. Also watched Metropia. Now watching Paranorman. Loving the full wolf moon and wildness. Staying home tonight as there has been so much wildness already. Pardon me. And the wind was a little bit too fierce. Wish that wind would blow through my window again, bring back the coolness. I won't do it. I won't interfere with the laws of nature. Just as I see that, I see a breeze in the trees opposite, so here I am creating my own breeze with my fan. Yay! 28th of January 2012. So I was walking back from the shops with fish and chips under my arm, spring rolls and salad and handbag in left hand, umbrella handle tucked under my arm, and Miss Bella Rosa tugging on her leash, smiling at my ability to multitask in the wet weather when a text came through. It was Crystal, and she'd sent me a lovely song she sang to me, accompanied by her ukulele playing, and the song said, "I love you." That made my afternoon, which I'm glad I recorded these lovely little anecdotes and memories since my daughter and I are estranged now. It's bittersweet and it hurts, but it's a lovely memory of when I was loved as a mother. Sorry, I'm trying to hold it together here. Trying to hold it together. Oh, Jared tells me the name of the song is Sea of Love. It's one of my favourites, but I can never remember its name, lol. Hello? How are you?
How's it going?
It's going good, mate. I'm in the middle of making a video, so I can't stop to chat right now.
All right. I've just got an eBay package for you. I think, are you Tanya?
Yes.
Yes. I'll put it on the front steps when I come around the next block.
Thank you. I've actually been chasing it down through Australia Post and wondered where it disappeared to.
It's to 44 Turquoise Street.
Yeah, I often get your mail and I put it in your box.
I don't think it'll fit in there. I'll put it in there, okay?
Thanks, love. Thank you so much. Oh, well, that's a mystery solved as to where that disappeared to. Australia Post insisted they'd delivered it, which they had, to the wrong address, the idiots. But there you go. They often mix up between 44 Turquoise and my street. So there you go. My stalkers know what number I live at now. Eek. Anyway, don't worry. I have weapons all over this house, so bring it, babies. The weapons being, non-projectile kinds. Just saying. But I've had to put pipes and things all over this house because there was some level of threat last year, and can't rely on people in a crisis. Just can't. Have to fight my own fight, babies. So anyway, I'm very happy to hear that my parcel has arrived because I've been waiting on that, and I'm still paying that item off on Afterpay, so I was upset about paying for something that's disappeared into the void. So anyway, I can let Australia Post now. I can close that case now that it's been discovered. I might just let them know they delivered it to the wrong address. Honestly, but it's been so hot. I'm not angry with the postman. It's been so hot. People aren't synapsing, not thinking clearly, It happens. So, and it's been found. So, very happy about that. I'll repeat that last paragraph. Oh, Jared tells me the name of the song is Sea of Love. It's one of my favourites, but I can never remember its name, lol. Crystal sent me 2 other songs last night, a Eurythmics one and another I can't remember. Her ukulele playing is very proficient. I am so proud of my talented daughter. She is amazing. Funny thing is, my dad used to play uke for me when I was a little kid in the 70s, so it's always a bit bittersweet for me. Dad used to play Tiny Tim's Tiptoe Through the Tulips, which was quite funny, as Dad did the falsetto voice and everything, but ironically it was also prescient of him. Because when Mum left him, she met Uncle Case on our trip, returning from Europe, and took up with him. He was a Dutchman living in Melbourne, and when she used to get mad at him or wanted to put him down, she'd call him the tulip, laughing my ass off. So there was a lot of tiptoeing through the tulips going on during my fucked up, perverted childhood, just saying. Well, I refuse to tiptoe around anyone now. Now it's a full-throttled zombie berserker queen, warrior goddess, mosh and stomp. And to hell with what anyone thinks of me. Unless you walked in my moccasins, you don't get to judge me, darlings. I can't wait to hear how gorgeous it just when I'm crying over my daughter that man arrives to tell me that parcel arrived, and I've brightened up instantly. But I am happy about that. So I can fix my snake that lost its tongue at Kilcoy. So I bought a fork and I need to make another tongue for it. So I'll show you how that turns out. Hopefully it turns out great, because I'm happy and excited about being able to fix it up now. It's been grinding my gears that fork went missing. So I'm forked, darling. I'm forked. I had a spirit yesterday say to me, "Don't worry, it's going to turn up." And I was like, oh yeah, whatever. I don't always listen to spirits. Sometimes I argue with them too. Trust me on that. I'm difficult even with my angels. I'm hard work for everybody. I'm very defiant and sometimes untrusting for good reasons. So the spirit just said, no, it's coming. It will be found. And I thought, yeah, it's probably still stuck at the post office, right? No, it was closer than I anticipated, around the corner from me. Anyway, here we go. Focus, Tanya. Focus. I can't wait to get my hair done on Monday, because my 3-inch black roots are seriously bumming out my mojo. Also, the wet rain made my black roots go all claggy and stringy, and I spent the entire evening feeling like a dirty, wrung-out mop. Spelt incorrectly. No wonder. Wrung out. Wrung. I forgot the W. It's rare that I make spelling mistakes, people. Typos, yes, but spelling mistakes almost never. Oh well. No wonder I didn't score, Beavis. And the boys paid out on me. But this little mama will have her revenge. New hairdo, ramp up the attitude, and keep on riding, fuckers. Laughing my ass off. Then I wrote, probably earlier in that morning, oh God, why do I even bother? Oh well, there's always next time. And my friend Sally asked, what happened, Tanya? And I wrote, oh, just games people play, lol. I'm just over it. Had a setback with the will dispute as well, so that is distressing, watching what is left of Mum's estate being swallowed up on legal fees, while Shura deliberately sabotages. And they let her get away with it. It's just evil beyond belief. This country's debauched and evil. Don't ever get poor or get brutalised so much that you get poor, because you get stomped even further into the ground instead of protected and given what's rightfully yours. It's disgusting what's been done to me in this country. But I guess the same thing would have happened in New Zealand. Like, that country never had my back during my childhood, surrounded by pedophiles either. Just saying. I am just sick to death of struggling for every little thing in my life and getting nowhere fast. But I'm locked into this fight, so can't quit and can't move forwards, so feeling very angry and frustrated. Plus my love life is also not happening through no lack of effort on my part, lol. And the president of that clubhouse, who did love me and was kind to me, actually said to me, there will never be a partner for you here in this clubhouse. I said, oh, why? He said, I simply won't allow it. They're not good enough for you, Tanya. So his friendship and loyalty and love for me meant didn't find a man there either. They were basically all warned off. So I got a bit triggered when my friend said something similar to me at the dance space I go to now, and he said, "There'll never be a real man for you here, Tanya." Basically echoing the same sentiments, right? So it's kind of fucked that people decide whether I'm entitled to have a love partner or not. I should have that say, no one else. But in the context of that clubhouse, it was a protective device because, that man did love me and he did have my back. So, wherever you are out there, my friend. They say love energy is the same as prosperity energy. So I am blocked at every turn. Enough to make a grown woman cry, lol. But I'll climb out of the pit of shit. I always do. Till I find another one to slide into. And there was a lovely comment, supportive comment left from my woman friend from that clubhouse, asking me how I was getting on and that we wouldn't be playing pool and drinking together anymore because she was leaving that space too. And anyway, I was threatened out of making contact with her ever again, so I didn't, and there is that. But it all went a bit fucking toxic and weird. But I'm just marking here that she did write me a little note and thanked me for a nice chat we had. And I don't know what happened really, why it went so vicious at the end, but it often happens in life. One of my missions completed, I guess, and it was time to move on, and so I did. So I replied with heartfelt intentions towards her. Oh, the evil bitch phoned the public trustee, by that I mean the Shearer sister, and screamed for an hour and convinced them somehow to not represent me as interim administrators, and threatened me with the police for having Mum's chattels, which the public trustee gave me back in 2008, when Mum was still alive on trust, in which I am fighting to hold on to those memories at least, as the estate is dwindling in legal costs thanks to that asshole Sonia Shearer. So we'll probably get no money in the end after fighting for my rights for 2.5 years. So yeah, grr. And that's true. I got a very, very small share of the estate, which should not have been allowed to happen, given she was threatening the adult guardian and the public trustee and all those other weak, lacklustre dogs that sold me down the river, by the way, because they're evil and perverted. So there is that. And no, I will never forget any of those organisations for what they put me through and what they cost me financially, by the way. But I write to this lovely former friend at the time. Thank you so much.
That's okay. We got it a couple of days ago, and I've just been too busy to return to. So.
Oh, no, that's okay. I should have actually thought to ask if it had turned up at your house, because like I say, your mail often comes to me.
How often would it come to you?
Oh, it hasn't for a while, but there was a few weeks it was happening like on a weekly basis.
I wonder if there's a new postie or something.
Possibly, because the last one,
They're not thinking very much if they're...
it's been so hot. Their brains are probably melting like all of us.
Anyway, I'll leave you to it. Have a good day.
So, thank you so much. But I continue talking to this woman that we were friends in that space for a long, for the 8 months that I went there, and We did play pool together, and she was a shark. My God, that woman she could have been a professional pool shark. She could have made so much money. She was excellent. And the one time I bet her, even she turned to me and went, "How the fuck did you do that?" And I replied, "My angels." Anyway, I wrote, and this wasn't the case because I was threatened to stay away from her because the powers that be, don't know what that was about actually, but anyway. But you and I will see each other again. Trust that. If when you come to Brizzy, you can stay with me overnight and we can paint the town red and have fun. Just give yourself time to heal so you can get back in that headspace again. Pardon me. As a doctor friend once taught me in Latin, nil carborundum et bastardos. Never let the bastards grind you down. And I can add to that, no matter who they are, lol. I am a fighter and used to fighting my way through life, but was hoping to get real money, closure, peace for my old age, and maybe a sexy, lovely man as a bonus. But you know, neither of those things are happening right now. But it ain't over till the fat lady sings, and I'm vowed and determined to get exactly what I want, need, and deserve before I leave this mortal coil. I've had enough bullshit for several incarnations, and when I finally pop my clogs, I am so not coming back here. I want to be a nice little shining spark in a star somewhere, lol. We shall overcome, one day at a time, sweet Moses. Keep smiling, 'cause it will happen, just a matter of time. Kiss, kiss, kiss. And she replied, "That's not good, doll, but I'm sure it will all work out in the end. Kiss, not kiss." And 4 months later, I got threatened out of that clubhouse, and that was the end of the lovely friendship. What the fuck that was actually about, really, I'll never know. But now, after all these years, I don't really care. I just kept living my best life, no matter what, no matter who. And yes, I found worse, more foul, more putrid, more stinking from their loins enemies in the ensuing years after that. So that kept me a bit busy and preoccupied. But now, 28th of January 2024, I'm free of all those bloodless, filthy, stinking curs. And life is beautiful, and I'm happy in my own weird ways. And I have overcome, and I did it literally one day at a time. Sweet Moses. You have to laugh. Literally from my lips to God's ears, right? I ride shotgun with powerful, powerful entities that love me from the supernal realms too. And you can think I'm crazy and you can disbelieve in all that, but I know who my gods are and what they're capable of and how they have lifted me up from death spiraling events that were dangerous and came very, very close to send me back into the fray yet again, over and over, even just prior to this COVID regime starting up in 2020. So it's weird, it's astonishing, but I'm here for a reason, people. Sometimes against my own will, by the way. Just saw movement at the side of my eye, but it's BB, my little scrub turkey, doing his thing. 28th of January 2010, visited the Umi, that's German for grandma, so my mother, who was sleeping in an unnatural position, but I didn't want to wake her, so I went to Aldi instead. Poor old chook. Wasn't long. She died on 7th of March, so 5 weeks later she was dead. So there is that. 28th of January 2009. I have rescued my car from the Pet City car park with the help of Courtney and Jared. What an adventure. And thus concludes today's readings. I'm off to go and rescue my parcel, which I'm thrilled about. And I'm going to go and have a shower and wash my hair. My ear is starting to hurt again, which is not good. So a shower and wash my ear will be a good thing to do. Get my parcel, and I might, later on work on my bracelet that needs repairing since I lost the snake tongue at Kilcoy. So it was a very expensive day that day, including my beautiful friend Jared having a funny turn, almost dying in front of me. It was very, very fucking frightening indeed. Anyway, he's better now. He posted a photo of himself up last night. He's lost so much weight, which is not a good way to lose weight, people, from diabetes, but he's lost so much weight. He looks like how I knew him when I first met him as a young man when he was about 21. I'm not sure. Hang on, how old was I? I was 28. So he must have been 21 going on 22, something like that. I think he was 21 when I met him. He's only 6 years younger than me though. Trying to work it out. Anyway, he looks absolutely stunning. I just hope his health improves and gets into more balance when they sort out the diabetes properly. But yeah, the weight loss is incredible, and he looks... You look beautiful, my darling Jared. Completely beautiful and handsome. And may you be blessed with better health once the doctors and nurses and whoever's in charge sort out your diabetes and get you into better balance. And Mama T is looking forward to looking more beautiful when she sorts her bladder issues out, and maybe I might release some weight someday. Hopefully not in such a way that I get diabetes too, because he's been very unwell. My beautiful friend has been very unwell indeed. So God's bless to you as always, Jared, and God's blessings to all my beautiful friends and family and YouTube watchers, the watchers. And stay safe, stay happy, stay noble, stay dignified, stay proud in your own existence, stay alive, stay free, stay wild, stay joyous. Much love from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm, my darlings.